The entire plot of Fantastic Four First Steps has made its way online, from the beginning to the end to the post-credit scene. So in this video, we're going to go over all of that, including the source of the leak and the trustworthiness of it. So without further ado, if you don't mind spoilers, the full plot of Fantastic Four. So I think by now most of you know the drill. I think you know how this works. Obviously, spoilers ahead, so be warned. So for right now, we're going to talk about what we know. We of course know that the film officially releases worldwide at the end of July, so about a month out. We also know that there's a lot of stuff out there in regards to the film that was rumors that turned out to be 100% fact, including things like Franklin Richards, the multiverse being a thing that they just know about, skipping their origin, the female Silver Surfer, Galactus, the villains in the film, who was going to play them. A lot of stuff for this film has leaked. And I'm specifically mentioning that because you need to understand that what we're talking about here is things we know about, but also we're about to get into some serious, and I mean serious, territory that covers tons of leaks and the entire film if this all turns out to be true. Now, a lot of people dismiss things like this, but I need to remind people that the entire breakdown of Endgame and the Marvels and two other TV shows was on point when they hit almost a year in advance. So there's a lot here that you need to understand could also be make-believe, but there is a pattern of real stuff that has been out there that is 100% factual. So with that out of the way, let's get into the spoilers. Okay, so per the opening of the film, it opens up with you know the story. And what we get is a brief montage of past battles that the Fantastic Four have taken part in since gotten their powers and becoming the protectors of this world. Here, we are going to see them fighting Mole Man, along with, of course, his most, I would say, known creature, which we recently just saw from a leak. Well, okay, not a leak, it was a commercial, but yeah, look, we know Mole Man is in this. We even know who's playing him. It's all good. Beyond that, we're also going to see them fighting Red Ghost and his chimps. Now, this was also something that we've heard before, that Red Ghost was going to be a big deal, and that he would, in fact, be more or less like the comic. So this is sort of reinforcing that. So after that whole thing, the film then cuts to the opening, and this is where we're catching up with our team. Now, this is after they've done their whole presentation where, hey, years ago, you guys became the Fantastic Four. Let's talk about your greatest hits. That's the first act of the film. So when we get to catch up with them in the modern setting, or modern at this time, we discover that Sue Storm is pregnant. And they're preparing for the baby's imminent arrival, and this is where the Silver Surfer, Shala Bal, shows up. And she warns the team about the pending threat and that their planet has been targeted by Galactus. The team does not take this threat lightly and decides to follow her into space. This is when she leads them directly to Galactus, who is actually on a massive spaceship of his own, and he is consuming planets through the ship. This is how he travels around. So he's not just flying around, although he can. He also has a giant ship that's formidable. It is with their face-to-face confrontation with Galactus, with no battle, that Galactus agrees to spare Earth, but under one condition. He wants their child. He wants to be the father and take care of Franklin. The team obviously refuses, and then a battle with the Silver Surfer unfolds. It's during this fight that the surfer is thrown into a wormhole due to time dilation and things like that. A month goes by, and during this month that she's missing, it is Reed who cracks a plan that's going to solve their problems and get them away from Galactus. Reed decides that he's going to teleport Earth to another part of the universe. So next up, when Shalabal returns, she sabotages the teleportation technology and essentially makes it so Reed's plan, the way he was aiming to use it to save Earth, is not going to work. That way of stopping Galactus is no more a guarantee. So Reed and the team come up with a completely different plan. Let's trap Galactus and teleport him as far away from us as we can. Now, as it turns out, yes, the leader of the team is Sue Storm. She is the one who is more or less trying to keep everything in check, and she herself is willing to sacrifice herself to defeat Galactus in order to save everybody, including Franklin Richards, her son. So Sue actually does end up sacrificing herself, using all her power to be able to push Galactus into the portal. And yes, she is dead, but this is when Franklin Richards resurrects her. As most of you know, Franklin has the ability of a Omega level mutant. Some even say way past a Omega level mutant. He essentially and can create and destroy multiverses and universes with the blink of an eye and a single thought. So bringing back his mother right before her death is not really a challenge for him. So Galactus has been destroyed, ? They pushed him through the wormhole, but they don't know if he's alive or what's going on. They can't track that. Now, one would assume that he's probably escaped and is living elsewhere because Galactus always survives, and he's the sole survivor of the multiverse before, or the universe before the sacred timeline. And then we're sort of left, I guess, asking whether or not he's going to be back, which would make sense if he shows back up in the MCU, just a little bit different. I would probably assume maybe the Galactus swarm, or they're going to do something else before they rebuild him in the same way. Either way, though, the post-credit scene sets up everything going forward, especially Doomsday and Secret Wars. So the post-credit scene does see Sue reading a book to a older Franklin Richards. She gets up, she goes into another room, and in the background she hears weird noise, and then she hears the sound of a teleportation device. She quickly rushes back and she's frozen in her tracks. The book slips from her hand before it's revealed that there is a cloaked figure, aka Victor Von Doom. You don't see his face, you see his full body. And you see a silver cloak. In one hand, he's holding his mask, which is fully CG, and in the other, he is holding Franklin Richards, who is not conscious. The screen then cuts to black and says the Fantastic Four will return in Avengers Doomsday. Okay, so this is a lot, obviously. It's a lot to unpack, so I get it. There's a lot here that honestly sounds very plausible. There's a lot that sounds fan-fiction-y. But I need to remind people that when the Avengers Endgame leak came out and people heard about Fat Thor and how his arc goes and how Steve gets the hammer, they said it was all fan fiction. All of that fan fiction turned out to be literally the entire film leak, beat for beat, that nobody believed, that came from a Redditor that had no previous posts. So people discredited it up until it was right. Same thing with the entire plot of Venom 2, Venom 3, one version of Madam Web, and countless others. So I want you to know that this could be fake, but a lot of it sounds real, especially if you match it up with what we know. So do with this info what you will. But if you made it this far, chances are you don't care about spoilers and you're in for the ride. And me, somebody that doesn't care about spoilers, it's in the execution, this sounds pretty amazing. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will, and if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching, and have a good one.